Britain was not the only country today where solemn ceremony remembered those lost and contemplated a new tenure. President Zelenskyy visited the city of Izyum in the northeast of Ukraine, taken by Russian forces on the 1st of April, liberated this weekend. The pomp was pared back, but no less poignant. His speech punctuated by a bang, not of the ceremonial salute variety. He also went to Balaklia, recently retaken, awarded medals in a secret location. On the honours list, some of the soldiers who, according to their president, took back 5,000 square miles. Among them, General Alexander Syrsky, commander of the Ukrainian ground forces, who led the surprise counter-offensive. Outside, the people lining the streets queue for aid packages. After months of Russian occupation, Maria Timofeyeva stops to cry on her food box. Tears of relief and horrors relived.
Мужа моего раздевали до трусов. На улице вот так берешь и снимаешь с себя все. Снимают все, они смотрят, поворачивают. Любые шрамы, тату, служил, не служил. Забирали людей, тут ужас.
Around the same time as her husband was in Izyum, his wife Elena was guest of honour as the European Commission President gave her State of the Union address. Pledges made during the speech will take time to realise, but included starting talks about Ukrainian access to the single market and a cap on energy companies' revenue. She also took aim again at Putin himself.
With the necessary courage and with the necessary solidarity, Putin will fail and Ukraine and Europe will prevail.
Reuters reported today that at the beginning of the war, Vladimir Putin's chief envoy on Ukraine had struck a provisional deal with Kyiv that would have satisfied Russia's demand that Ukraine stay out of NATO, but that Putin rejected that offer and pressed ahead with war. One of the latest, some would say spiteful strikes in that war came today. Russian cruise missiles hit infrastructure in Kryvyi Rih, including a dam, leaving the taps without water and the river starting to flood. It's President Zelenskyy's hometown. Another son, another hometown. A mother's relief at her village liberated one thing, the return of her boy another. Close to the Russian border in the north, Vyacheslav Zadorenko, the mayor of a town retaken, returns. The only thing that tempers the joy of these moments in both Ukraine and Russia, the number of reunions that will never take place.
Paul O'Brien reporting. Well, earlier I spoke to Igor Zhokva, who's deputy head of the Ukrainian president's office, and I asked first if he was surprised by the success his country's armed forces have achieved over the last week.
Well, we in Ukraine are never surprised with our armed forces, with our president, and with our people. So really, we are having more than 200 days of war as of now, and not only Ukraine is withstanding, not only Ukraine is managing to tackle these complicated issues you usually have during the war, but everyone see that Ukraine is capable to counter-strike and to make counter-offenses. It's really important to have it now before the winter season to get the territory of Ukraine back. This is the aim of my president, to get control over the whole territory of Ukraine, and that's what definitely Ukraine will be doing.
And are you braced in Kyiv for a backlash from Russia using more cruise missiles, using more long-range artillery hitting your civilian targets?
Look, as we speak now with you, there is an air raid siren in Kyiv already for the second time today in the day. You might saw the news about severe blasts in the cities of Kryvyi Rih and Zaporizhia and Odessa. So that's probably the retaliation from the Russian side, which they're having day by day and night by night and hour by hour, killing civilians. You saw what was happening in the Kharkiv thermal power plant in the last weekend when they hit it deliberately, the thermal power plant, which has nothing to do with the military objects, but it's connected to kindergartens, to schools and to households. Definitely, they still have the possession of many more ballistic missiles. That's why very important to have the air defense and anti-missile systems in order to secure the civilians of Ukraine from these airstrikes.
But are you afraid that the Russian tactics will get more desperate, more extreme? They could use different types of weapons because they've been pushed into a corner right now?
Well, unfortunately, you can expect everything from Russia.
How about the spirit of people supporting you in the West? Now, here the government, the very new government of Liz Truss, are you expecting the same kind of support from her that you got from Boris Johnson?
Well, you know that my president had the first phone call with her. The first foreign leader to have a call with the new prime minister was my president, and during that phone conversation, we heard the same level of support the previous prime minister was rendering. So she was absolutely eager, and she was asking what else can she do as a prime minister to support Ukraine. You know, my president invited her to visit Kyiv, and she received positively these invitations.
Finally and briefly, Igor, what is the biggest challenge?
This winter will be hard for each and every one of us. It will be hard for Ukraine, it will be hard for UK, it will be hard for the rest of the European countries. But if we will survive these 90 days, if we will stay united, if the citizens of the European countries will understand that, yes, sometimes they have to pay a little bit higher price for gas or for some other goods, but you cannot evaluate the price for values, which now Ukrainians pay by sacrificing their lives. So if we together will understand that in spring, having overcome this winter, we will stay even stronger, even united, and even more safe. That understanding will, I think, bring people to overcome these difficulties and to appear more strong and more secure.
Igor Zhokva, thank you very much indeed.